Yeah, thanks a lot, Andrew. And Cam, hard to believe that it was only 2 years ago that the Bulldogs went to Toledo and really got taken out to the woodshed by the Rockets. 52-17 in a game that wasn't that close. No. Last night, a little payback, huh?
Oh, man. Complete 180 from that Toledo trip. That was one of the low points in the 2016-2017 stretch there. Just a total domination by Toledo, and Fresno State flipped the script on them last night. It was the same type of domination. The final score maybe wasn't indicative of how big of a win it was, but this was, from just about start to finish, a complete annihilation by this Fresno State football team.
Yeah, the final score, I believe, read 49-27, but two late garbage time touchdowns, right. And Fresno State really was just running out the clock in the fourth quarter. Yep. Let's talk about that offense. You know, we saw the highlights there in Andrew's highlights. 554 yards of total offense last night, and most of that coming in the first three quarters, really. So they had that number by 3 quarters in. What is working so well for them right now?
You know, it sounds simple when you say it, but they really come into every game with a great game plan, and this offense goes out and executes that game plan, and then they'll pick up things as the game goes on. Obviously, Toledo did not understand how to check somebody else on a running back getting to the perimeter of a defense because Jordan Mims was running free all night. They see things like that, and Marcus McMaryion understands everything they need him to understand to go out and execute it. So it's really, these coaches put them in great positions. They are well coached. They understand everything they're asked to do, and they go out and really, if you watched that last night, they go out and have fun executing what they're supposed to execute.
Yeah, quite a difference from what we saw at Minnesota for 3 quarters to what we're seeing now from that Bulldog offense. They're really clicking on all cylinders. And the guy, you know, man in the controls, Marcus McMaryion. Yeah. You mentioned him. 5 touchdowns in each of the last 2 games. He's the first Bulldog to do that since Derek Carr had 5 touchdowns in back-to-back weeks in 2013.
Big name.
Yeah. He's doing it throwing. Yeah, it's good to be in Derek Carr's company always when you're in the Fresno State record books. You've talked about Marcus, them opening it up for Marcus and letting him do more with this offense. Is this the Marcus you expected to see?
Yeah, and it's funny because if you look at that game last night, especially early, but he wasn't throwing the ball down the field. There was a lot of run after catch, and that is this offense getting guys in space and allowing them to use their physical skill set to make plays. But Marcus runs the show. I mean, they put a lot on his plate pre-snap, and they put a lot on his plate after the snap as far as putting them in the right play. And he's grown leaps and bounds from last year. His footwork is improved. He understands, you know, exactly where they want the ball to go. And outside of one bad pass last night, otherwise he was on point. And he threw a couple away. Otherwise, I mean, really 2 incompletions all night. I don't know what you're thinking, into 26 for 32. Extremely efficient, knows where to go with the football, and delivers an accurate ball that these guys can catch and make things happen after they do.
Yeah, I think the exact numbers were 24 of 31, 75%. That is terrific. And Marcus isn't a running quarterback, but the threat of Marcus running the football gives the defense a lot to think about. Yeah. Speaking of defenses, let's talk about that Bulldog defense. Man. I saw you on the sideline last night, and the first thing you mentioned was that Bulldog defense and how they were playing, because this was a Toledo offense that came in as the 8th-ranked scoring offense in the country, averaging 51 points per game through their first 3 games. And the Bulldogs really shut them down. Yeah, they only had 13 points midway through the fourth quarter. Yep. And they're getting it done from everybody now. You know, we knew the back 7 was going to be good, but that defensive line is starting to emerge.
Yeah, that was the one question that we had coming in. We had that question last year, too, and they answered it. It took them really until this game, I think, to find a personnel grouping up front and how they can move those pieces around to get pressure on the quarterback. There's not a true pass rusher on this team who can just line up snap after snap and get pressure. So they have to figure out ways to get guys free. And as we saw last night, this Toledo dropped 63 on Nevada. 63 points they put up a week prior. They came in averaging 51. This is an offense that is going to go to the MAC, and they're going to blow the doors off of some of those defenses. And they had 13 points going into middle of the fourth quarter. This was a dominant performance against probably the best set of skill guys Fresno State will see until they see Boise on November 9th.
Yeah, Jeff Allison, another 9 tackles, again leading the team. Tank Kelly wanted to highlight his performance. Career high 7 tackles, 3 pass breakups. So now the Bulldogs move on to conference play. I know things kind of get amped up a little bit once you get into Mountain West play. They're going to head to Nevada this week. Now, this Wolfpack team was a little bit down last year, but in the second year under a new head coach, they're kind of starting to figure things out. They won at Air Force on Saturday, 3-2 overall. What do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, their quality, they really executed the best against this defense last year. I mean, Fresno State really, was ahead in that game for most of the time, but that offense was able to move the ball. They were able to get some big chunk plays, which this defense does not give up those big chunk plays. So they're going to pose some problems offensively, but it's just like the Toledo blueprint. Make them work and execute down the field. Don't give up those big chunk plays. And most offenses, especially in the Mountain West, they can't do that. UNLV did it last year. Boise did it in the Mountain West Championship game. Otherwise, this defense understands how to limit offensive effectiveness, and it's going to be another test. It was a big test Saturday that they aced with flying colors. It's going to be another big test as far as a Mountain West offense is concerned when they go up to Nevada on Saturday.
Now, as the Bulldogs head into conference play, wanted to get your thoughts on the conference as a whole. It occurs to me that a little bit of a role reversal in a way. It's been the Mountain Division that has been really strong the last couple of years. The West was wide open a year ago until the Bulldogs emerged. This year, the West looks to be improved. Not only do you have Fresno State, but you got an improved Hawaii team, an improved Nevada team. San Diego State again looks to be pretty solid. Even San Jose State playing a little better. Hawaii emerging. How difficult is it going to be for the Bulldogs to win the West?
It's Fresno State and San Diego State. I mean, those teams are improved. Nevada's improved offensively. Hawaii's much improved offensively. San Jose State is playing better football. But it's Fresno State and it's San Diego State. And San Diego State has to come to Bulldog Stadium, and they have to beat Fresno State, just like Fresno State went down last year and beat San Diego State in San Diego. That's what the West Division is. I think the Mountain is Boise State and Utah State. Whoever wins that matchup will probably represent the Mountain Division, but there's a clear drop-off, after those four teams. There are four, I think, legitimate, top 35 type of football teams in the Mountain West, and then you have everybody else. So San Diego State's got to come up and try to get it done against the Dogs. If Fresno State wins that one, they're in the driver's seat just like they were last year.
And remember, in a crossover matchup this year, the Dogs do go to Boise State in early November. Looking forward to that one.
Can't wait.
Right. Hey, one more question.
November 9th. It's been on my calendar since it came out.
I can't wait too. I think I might be headed to that game, but I'm looking forward to that one. One more question before I let you go. The atmosphere last night. There was over 33,000, I believe, at Bulldog Stadium last night. What did you think of the atmosphere?
I was a little disappointed, to be honest with you. A great crowd down at the Rose Bowl a week before. A lot of fans made the trip. They traveled. There was a good Bulldog contingent down there, and I thought we'd have 35,000 plus. I thought they would be loud. I was a little bit disappointed. This is a great football team. They're not good. They're a great football team. This is the best team we've seen at Fresno State since Derek Carr was a senior, and before that, probably since 2005. So there has not been an opportunity to watch football like this in Fresno in a long time, and it's not automatic just because Jeff Tedford is the head coach that it's going to continue. If you haven't come out to watch this team, come out and watch this team because this is a special group of football players. And I was disappointed with the Red Wave last night. I thought they would be a little bit louder. I thought they would be more excited to welcome back a football team who a week prior went down and beat the brakes off of UCLA. So hopefully when Wyoming comes back in a couple weeks, Bulldog Stadium's 38,000 plus.
Yeah, tell your friends, senior quarterback, senior receiver, stud defense.
Local guys who are making plays. But everything you want as a Bulldog fan is happening. Now come out and watch it happen.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun out there. I'll tell you that right now, Andrew.